Hi, I'm Sean Stevens. I'm the Chief Research Advisor at the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression. Every year we survey a number of schools, surveying students on their perceptions and experiences with freedom of speech on campus. So that makes up a heavy component of our rankings, is what the students actually say. And other factors that go into it are our ratings of school speech policies, as well as the outcomes of different speech controversies that occur on campus. So this could be attempts to disinvite a speaker, get a professor fired, or sanction a student group or organization. This year, the top performing school was University of Virginia. They ranked #1 overall. They're one of the consistently strong schools. They've never not been ranked in the top 25, and we've surveyed them every year we've done this. Other schools that did well were Michigan Tech. That was last year's #1 school. Happy to see that because that was the first year we surveyed them, so it looks like it really wasn't a fluke. Florida State, Eastern Kentucky, and Georgia Tech round out the top 5. At the other end, for the second year in a row, we have Harvard bringing up the rear. They again scored in the negative, which we rounded up to 0. Columbia joined them in that infamous category this year, although their score wasn't as bad, so they're ranked ahead of Harvard. And then the rest of the bottom 5 is NYU with almost a 0, University of Pennsylvania, and then Barnard College. The thing most of these schools have in common is most of the students are very upset with how the administration has responded to protests over the past year. Most of these schools have also been poor performers year over year as well. Harvard, UPenn have routinely been near the bottom. Columbia was the worst school a few years ago before moving up a little bit last year. These are kind of consistently bad performers to begin with. When a controversy arises, the speech typically gets punished. The speaker gets disinvited, a faculty member gets sanctioned in some way, or student organization does. They rarely stand up for speech. They do. It's not like they don't, but they don't do it often. And they have a lot of controversies. The schools that we rank higher have fewer controversies. I'm not exactly sure why, but when they do, they often come to defense of the speaker and defend the right. So they very rarely sanction speech and usually stand up for it when people are calling for someone to be disinvited, etc., all these things. As a free speech organization, that we're trying to provide an indication of where students can get the best experience in college in terms of being exposed to a diverse set of views, experiencing like open inquiry and that process, having to grapple and have their views challenged perhaps, but this sets them up better to be adult citizens in our country once they graduate. And I feel like the more people are kind of aware of different viewpoints and the more they're exposed to them, even if they don't agree with them, they seem to be more tolerant of them. And I think that that's something we need to promote more of.